We will be breaking down some of the key parts of the Constitution, the principles of the Constitution, the responsibilities of the citizens, as well as provide techniques to remember the Bill of Rights. Principles of the Constitution: popular sovereignty, the people have the ultimate authority. Republicanism, the people vote for representatives to rule on their behalf. Limited government, the government cannot do what is not in the Constitution. Federalism, power is shared between national and state government. Let's break it down into more simple terms, starting with popular sovereignty. People have the power. Republicanism, elect representatives. Limited government, government has limited control. Federalism, power is split between national and state governments. Let's wrap up the principles of the Constitution with separation of powers. Power is separated between the three branches. Checks and balances, each branch has power over the other two branches. As citizens of the United States, we each have responsibilities. These include: vote during elections, staying informed, serve on juries, serve in military if asked, pay taxes, obey all laws, and attend school. Now we will discuss the 10 amendments that make up our Bill of Rights, and techniques to help you remember them. First Amendment. Religion, no national religion, and people can practice any religion. Speech, people can say what they want. Press, media can publish freely. Assembly, people can gather peacefully. Petition, people can ask the government to address issues. Now, let's try to remember this. Use your pointer finger to point up. Like you are pointing to a higher being, that's religion. Now, cover your mouth with your finger, nobody can take away your freedom of speech. Try writing with your pointer finger, that is freedom of the press. Just to name a few. The Second Amendment protects the right to keep and bear arms. Now let's practice this amendment. Using your hand, point your index finger and stick out your thumb, this forms a weapon. You are holding up two fingers to remind you this is the Second Amendment. The Third Amendment prohibits the government from forcing citizens to quarter soldiers in their homes during peacetime without consent. To help us remember this amendment, hold up your hand. Press your index finger to your thumb to make an OK sign. Then imagine holding a quarter where your index finger and thumb make a circle. You would also have 3 fingers sticking up, these represent 3 soldiers. The Third Amendment means no quartering or housing of soldiers. The Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. It requires any warrant to be judicially sanctioned and supported by probable cause. Now hold up your hand and press your thumb to your palm, you should have 4 finger up, to represent the Fourth Amendment. Now close those fingers over your thumb to make a fist and pretend to knock on a door. Authorities cannot come into your house without a warrant. The Fifth Amendment provides several protections. Grand jury requires a grand jury indictment for capital or infamous crimes, double jeopardy. Prohibits being tried twice for the same offense, self-incrimination. Protects against being compelled to testify against oneself, due process. Guarantees fair treatment through the normal judicial system, eminent domain. Ensures that private property cannot be taken for public use without just compensation. Now, let's see how we can remember the overall concept of the Fifth Amendment. Hold up your hand like a high five, then cover your mouth. This represents how the Fifth Amendment prevents you from testifying against yourself. Sixth Amendment guarantees a fair trial, including speedy trial. The right to a trial without undue delay, public trial. The right to a trial conducted openly, impartial jury. The right to a trial by an unbiased jury. Let's memorize this amendment. Hold up both hands. On one hand, raise your index finger. With your other hand, pretend you are wearing a watch. Point your index finger at your watch, as if you were checking the time. Under the Sixth Amendment, you have the right to a speedy trial. You cannot spend excess time in jail before being tried. The Seventh Amendment provides for the right to a jury trial in civil cases where the value in controversy exceeds $20. For this amendment, hold up both hands. With one hand, show 2 fingers. With the other hand, hold up all 5. The 2 fingers represent you and a judge. The other hand represents a jury. This will help us remember that the Seventh Amendment is a trial by jury. The Eighth Amendment protects against excessive bail. No excessive bail or fines. Cruel and unusual punishment. Prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. Now let's put our fists together to simulate the number 8. Twist your wrists. This represents punishment. Under the Eighth Amendment, the punishment must fit the crime. The Ninth Amendment states that the listing of specific rights in the Constitution does not mean that other rights do not exist. It implies that the people have additional rights beyond those explicitly mentioned. Now hold up 9 fingers. You are going to have 1 finger left over. This represents the rights that are left out of the Constitution. Just because it's not listed, doesn't mean it doesn't count. The 10th Amendment affirms that powers not delegated to the federal government, nor prohibited to the states by the Constitution, are reserved to the states or the people. Hold up both hands with all 10 fingers. While holding up your hands, shrug your shoulders. It's like the government saying, "It's out of my hands." This is because any power not given to the government belongs to the people.